and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. Today's ramble, we're going to be using an LeTourneau scraper. This is a scraper that I got years ago. Someone had previously converted it from cable to hydraulic, and then I also did some conversions myself just to kind of freshen things up. But I believe look at that. I believe this is it's an 014. I don't know if you can see that. It's even stamped right here as well, 014. Now this is the closest that I can find. It talks about in 1952, the 014 was released. So there was an 014, an 019, and an 023. Well, looks like an 035. I'm not quite exactly sure the capacity, but I think it's probably around maybe 10 yards struck. Maybe you could get 11 yards if it was heaped. Anyways, the person before had cut a notch in that main pipe there, and then had a cylinder run from down there to up there to actuate the apron. They still had a cable in order for the apron to be able to float while you're loading, but I didn't like that because it seemed like that was a weak spot, considering that the whole unit pulls on that. The fifth wheel assembly pulls on that big pipe there. So I reconfigured the cylinders. I also got a lot more travel just in the design of how those cylinders actuate, so that this apron would open really wide. And then of course I filled in the pipe so that it added just added this structural strength back to it. They had also added big cylinders here instead of having the cables that would have run down here. But they did add these, and that I think is quite strong. But I put some newer cylinders on it. And then on the back, it has just a really long, I think like a 48-inch stroke cylinder in here for the eject from the bowl. So that eject pushes the product out once the apron lifts up. Anyways, I've used it for many jobs, and it's great. I made this little indicator, so when the ejector gets back, then this little arm gets pushed on, and this little indicator up here stands vertical, because one of the issues I did have was when I first got it, sometimes you'd forget that this was forward, and then you'd go to fill and you'd put all sorts of strain of the dirt coming in pressing against that hydraulic cylinder. So I did actually break a hydraulic cylinder first, and so it's really important that that ejector always goes back. Anyways, it's a great machine. I'll rent it out and lend it to my neighbors, and they'll hook onto it with their brand new 400 or 500 horsepower tractors, and they're all, I think, quietly surprised how it will just stop their tractors dead in its tracks, or the scraper will be full in 10 feet. Today we're going to be pulling it with the mighty Versatile 900. This has a 903 cubic inch Cummins V8. This tractor, I didn't actually buy it. It was more of an adoption. And now it's part of my family. Anyways, today we're going to we're going to use the scraper just to dress this clay and just take some real light cuts and put this hillside back to being very, very smooth. And then we will push the topsoil back on here. And then we're going to start importing topsoil from a stockpile that's over on another part of the farm to topsoil the section of gully that we have filled in, because I don't have any topsoil for down there. So yeah, today will be kind of a light, fast scraper day. Anyways, let's get it started.